Hello, everyone. Welcome to your divine masculine, divine feminine reading for this time. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all your support over the years. I have hit the 1,000 subscriber mark. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy that there are people that find my channel useful, where we can bring in some light and love and share this beautiful journey with each other. I just want to say I love you all so much. Thank you for your support. I appreciate and value each and every one of you. My name is Ahorangi Starchild, and as I said, this is a divine feminine, divine masculine reading. We're going to mix it up with two decks today. Below this video in the Dropbox, everything you need to know about me. There's a donation link for donations. Thank you so much for everyone who's been donating to me and my channel, so I can keep going and pay the internet, buy the decks, buy the equipment that I need to keep the readings coming for you. Your support means the world to me. So I just want to say thank you from a very humble heart, space in my heart. And what else is there? Okay, let's talk about divine feminine, divine masculine. This is a general reading, so not everyone will resonate with it. There will be a timestamp below this video so you can forward to the reading if you don't want to listen to all of this. So masculine, feminine is not male, female. This is dominant energies, okay? Because we're working with a spiritual connection here. Spirit doesn't have gender, okay? So these are high vibrational connections that we have with each other that inspires our spiritual growth and development. But it teaches us about love. It teaches us about our values. It teaches us about healthy boundaries and our inner workings, our inner personality, okay, our inner world. And this is reflected to us by our divine feminine, divine masculine. Our spiritual partners are here to help us. Now, so my readings are timeless, okay? So whenever you happen upon this reading, that is when you are meant to be hearing the messages that come through. If you don't resonate with this message, could be because of various reasons. You could be vibrating at a different level, okay? You could be on a different spiritual path. The best way to get information for you and your connection is to get a personal reading from your favorite reader on YouTube or whoever you vibe with. Okay, so if there's any questions, please ask below and let's just jump right in. Apologize for being quiet. I've been working my little honey off, being of service to humanity and Gaia. And but here I am. I'm all yours. All yours during this reading. Okay. Right. So this is the deck for the masculine. I'm tuning into the masculine. We've certainly been going through a little bit of a challenging time in the way of humanity. How our environment reflects back to us. Okay, that gives you an indication of where you are at on a personal level. Is have a look at your environment. Is it harmonious? Is it chaotic? Okay, so we're looking into the masculine. And this is the deck for the feminine. Okay, and I will list all the decks below that I'll be using. I'm going to pick the decks as I go along, my oracle decks or whatever, however I feel information is needed. Okay, so what is going on with the divine feminine? Divine feminines. Right. Thank you for your patience while I go through my processes. Okay. Who shall we do first? I think let's go ladies first because last time we did the gentleman first. So ladies, the goddesses, how are you doing? Right. I feel like the feminine to a large extent is finding her inner balance when it comes to mental processes. Sometimes the feminine, when, with a feminine principle, resembles water, resembles inaction, resembles meditation, resembles surrendering and being and breathing, and not, how do I say it, being active and outgoing. Okay, feminine resembles the yin energy, and I feel sometimes when the feminine's energy has been affected, when she's been triggered, she starts to overthink. She goes out of that yin energy, which resides in the heart and the emotions, and she goes up all in the head. She starts overthinking. Through overthinking comes misunderstandings, comes miscommunication, comes jumping to conclusions, an overactive imagination, speaking out of turn, not fully understanding. It's like a little dog chasing its own tail. Okay, but I feel the feminine, if you have been had to deal with chaos and conflict, whether this is conflict in your environment or inner conflict where you felt like you had, how do I say it, you were trying to sort out your feelings, okay, how you feel about certain things and people in your life, but that there would be inner conflict because it was very difficult for you to come to a conclusion as to how to resolve your own inner conflict concerning people and situations in your life. You are finishing off with that. You're moving forward. Okay, you're going into better places. There's clearer understanding coming for you. There is maybe the fact that there hasn't been communication. I feel in a lot of cases these connections have no communication, and that is what I also should have said, that this is a reading for people who haven't been in communication. But I feel like the feminine is coming out of a situation where she was in inner conflict. In other words, and I feel specifically about being in non-communication with a masculine. The non-communication issue might have made you feel, okay, and just remember, when you say he makes me feel like this, it is no, you projecting onto your masculine, okay? So the non-communication might have brought up issues with how you feel about the non-communication, whether that non-communication made you feel like you're not important, or you might have, I feel like you're working towards arriving at a conclusion where you are at peace with the non-communication, realizing that whatever your masculine had triggered through distancing himself from you, that you are becoming okay with the fact that there are other things that's taking his attention away from you. Okay? And at the same time, there is an opportunity that is going to come, I feel, in the near future. The more the feminine can work out her mental balance and not stress so much in the mental energy, the more you can get yourself to be in a place of calm, okay, and looking forward and taking momentum in your own life, making decisions that's supportive of you to calm things down, to leave conflict behind, inner conflict and even disagreements and conflict and chaotic situations with other people. The more you embrace situations of surrender and serenity and calmness, the more there will be an opportunity. You'll even see that your communication style will be changing. Your communication will be becoming softer, more sensitive, more aware of what the other person or other people in your life is feeling. So where the feminine is at, it is to become aware of your environment and the people, your immediate environment, what is the state of your current situation, because that will give you an indication of where you are at, and you're moving forward into beautiful, calm spaces. There's also, I feel, if you haven't been in communication, there is a beautiful energy coming in for a reconnection. You can expect to rekindle a romantic partnership or someone you have feelings for. I feel like there is messages coming. If there hasn't been any communication, there is messages coming. Someone is becoming emotionally available. You can definitely trust your intuition, especially when you manage to calm down your mind, when you stop to overthink and overanalyze, and you start to trust your feelings more and the vibes concerning your journey where you are on. That will also help to bring in a period of a beauty, calmness, emotional connection to people, but also at the same time creates okay. I want to show you in the sky. See, there's like a little moon just above the swan there. We are going into a lunar eclipse. Okay, first lunar eclipse is on the 5th of June. Then we have a solar eclipse on the 21st of June, and then we have another lunar eclipse on the 5th of July, or roundabouts there. And there are both of these cards have like a little moon, a sickle moon. Okay, so I feel like there's something to do with a new cycle of the moon, and we are in eclipse season as we speak. So I feel like this eclipse season is definitely ushering in a period of new beginnings for you, new opportunities, new people. When it comes to romance, if you're open to meet someone new, if you are ready to just embrace a spiritual connection with your divine masculine, and you are open to other romantic possibilities, it is there for you. If you choose to stay the course, there is going to be a period of reevaluation coming up for you, a period of reassessing your practical actions that you can take in this connection. And it is guiding you to stay true to your authentic self. Okay, whatever you choose. This is about authenticity. The feminine knows that she wants to continue in a way that is 100% working for her on a practical level, but also bringing her emotional support. Okay. I do feel like there is a lot of emotional support around you from friends. And there's definitely, for some of the feminine, an awakening of some kind happening. And I feel like that awakening, once again, will be reflected to you in your immediate environment. If there's a lot of growth, if there's a lot of new things coming to you, which I feel this eclipse season is bringing, it is bringing in endings as well as new in the same time. That it is through these changes around you that you will really, really start to connect the dots between your mental health, your emotional health, and your ability to take action towards your masculine. Because I do feel the feminine she's starting to tamper down that intensity. These connections are very, very, very intense, and I feel like the feminine is getting a grip on exercising awareness of her emotions, awareness of her inner processes. She's starting to trust her psychic abilities. She's becoming very sensitive in the connection to a masculine, connected to the higher self, realizing that the closest connection with a masculine is through the crown chakra. Okay, that is where you're always together. So if you separate it in the physical, that is where you reconnect. And I feel like the feminine is becoming aware of her masculine when she meditates, when she sleeps, in dreams, when she relaxes. There's just this beautiful flow of energy that is coming in where she just feel really connected to a masculine. I feel like there's communication happening in your dream time. There's messages coming to you through synchronicities. Okay. So what's going on with the masculine? What's happening? What is happening? I feel for some of the feminine too, they might feel like this connection has become stagnant. But it is because it's in incubation stage. 100% guaranteed this lunar eclipse solar cycle is going to shake things loose for you. It's going to propel you into a beautiful direction. What I really like about this is, look, we have the little frog there with the slipper and that magic wand. It's pumpkin time. It's pumpkin time. Okay? Magic. Time for magic to happen. And it's coming. I feel for some of you, you can't see it, but it's coming. Especially when you tap into your intuitive side, you just feel like it's time for new. It's time for fresh. It's time for things to move into a direction which is practical and workable. Okay, in this connection, you want to work with us. I feel like you want to work with us. You want to sort out conflict, inner conflict, non-communication. You're open to talk. You don't have that huge chip on your shoulder anymore. You're getting on top of your values and not to be too sensitive. Okay, so what's happening with the masculine? Where's the masculine at? The beautiful masculines. There's nothing more beautiful than a man connected to his heart center. Oh my word. The masculine has a sense of destiny. There is destiny at play. Timing. Fate. A fatalistic event that is surrounding the masculine. Okay, I feel for some of the masculines tuning in, or if there's the feminine, that the masculine might be Sagittarius, or Jupiter might play a prominent role in his natal chart. For the feminine, mostly water. I have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy for the feminine mostly, but we have Scorpio there, we have the swords there, and we also have wands. So fire, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, but that's not to be specific. Okay, it's just that energy is around there. But I feel with the masculine, he's a very fortunate, beautiful. He feels lonely without you. He feels lonely. Oh, he's got love on his mind. He wants to work. He wants to work with the feminine. The penny has finally dropped for the masculine. So what is happening with the masculine is, because we have during this time, I feel, of isolation, the masculine has had a lot of time to reevaluate his life, to reevaluate his relationships, to work out what works for him, what doesn't work for him, Who can he build with? Who is fortunate for him and who leaves him out in the cold? I feel for some of the masculine, if there hasn't been any communication, they definitely thinking about reconnecting with the feminine. They balancing, working on balancing out their energy just as the feminine is. I love this mirroring aspect. The feminine is calming down their minds, okay? The masculine is calming down the emotional side, but I feel like they have mastered that. They are connected to their hearts. They can clearly see there's a big difference between the people who are there for him and the people who aren't. He can clearly now see who he can build with long term, who he can collaborate with. I feel like the masculine is he's looking at ways to improve his financial situation as well. I don't feel like his situation is dire. I don't feel his situation is desperate. Some of them might have had in the recent past very harsh financial losses, emotional losses, maybe even battling illness. But it's through these challenging times that the masculine can now truly see who was supporting him during these challenging times and who was there. And he realizes that even if there wasn't any communication, maybe the feminine, in her own way, there's always information that comes through, whether this is in a dream, whether this is through word of mouth from other people, maybe mutual friends or circles that you used to move around in together. But there will always be news brought to each other through synchronicities, through messages from other people to bring you up to speed as to where your masculine feminine is at. And so what is happening here is I feel that there was news that came to your masculine who is bringing him this perspective, a very clear perspective of who is there for him and who isn't. And he understands now that there is a beautiful soulmate connection, which is so sweet, so tender, so beautiful. He remembers the good times. Okay, there's memories here. He remembers the times that that wasn't so good in your connection. He's reevaluating each and every experience he had. There's quite a few pentacles here, so I feel like the masculine is very practical about things. He wants to be realistic about things. He's working on laying a firm foundation. He's going through a very creative phase to see what it is that he can do to collaborate with his feminine. But not only, once again, as I said, you look to your environment to see what is reflected to you in your environment. And I feel what the masculine currently is working with is making plans, or he is already taking action to invest himself in projects with people we can collaborate, which is very much the type of energy that is needed for the masculine to return to his feminine so that there can be honest conversation. Now, I did say for the feminine that there is communication coming, and I see on this side that the masculine is certainly, his memory is being jogged. Okay, there's someone, his angels, a guide that is jogging his memory, that is making him remember the good times that you had. And he's comparing those good times and the beautiful sweet memories that he had with you with the memories where that he had to be without you. So he has this with you and without you kind of energy, and he knows where he knows what the fortunate situation is. He knows now because we have Jupiter. He realizes that the action that this connection is divinely guided. We have the Two of Cups, beautiful honesty between the masculine and the feminine, matching each other's energy beautifully, and I love it. Ready to work and collaborate with you. And the Wheel of Fortune, there's a sense of destiny here. the masculine is waking up to the fact that his path, his life path, his destiny certainly does include his feminine. Now, I want to draw more cards for the feminine. I just want to see what other action is coming in here. We have the dreamer, the fool. So there's a brand new, fresh start happening. It's the awakening and the dreamer together with the feminine. So this awakening that is happening with the feminine, where she realizes that she is actually okay with the way things are in the connection, even if there is separation. That surrendering is giving her the opportunity to create a clean slate. It clears up her energy so she doesn't feel bound by circumstances where she feels she doesn't have any control over it. Okay, so the fool is bringing in that energy of a brand new beginning, a brand new adventure, freedom, liberation, ready to go with whatever inspires you in the most beautiful way, because there's butterflies, okay? There's this trust. There is this moment that is going to help you to take a leap of faith. And also be very courageous about it. So with the masculine, what's coming in? So the masculine, once again, is working on his... There we go. He's working on creating an opportunity to speak to you. I feel like if there's been silence, if there's been no communication, your person, the judgment brings up things from the past and generally brings up people from the past. And the masculine also realize that there's a deep, deep soulmate connection. We have judgment, we have Six of Cups, we have Two of Cups. This is absolute soulmate energy, and he knows this. This area here is what he knows, and the actions that he's willing to take. He's also feeling much more generous towards the feminine, much more enlightened, okay, towards the feminine, fully understanding now and being very practical. And I feel like there's a desire, these memories that he have is pushing him to work out a plan, to take action, to be able to bring about a moment of communication. And when that communication comes in, now this could be towards the end of the year timing. When it comes to judgment, for me is very scorpionic, because it does rule the subconscious mind. Okay, so I feel if it is not now, what else we have? We have Jupiter. I always look to the majors for timing. So I feel possible a communication coming to you towards the end of the year, from 21 November to 21 December, and then as well 21 October to 21 November. So that to me is the timing here, and it's not that far away. It's 6 months, okay, 6 months from now, which gives the masculine opportunity to work on his life, to become more stable, to incorporate people and connection in his life, to overcome illness, to overcome financial difficulty. He's on his way up, and when he feels good in himself, when he's balanced in himself, he knows that he's got all his ducks in a row. So there's just this one thing that he still needs to do. So we are going to draw some Lovers Oracle cards. Now, I did order some new cards for my readings. They haven't arrived yet because of the lockdown. So we shall be patiently persevering. So this is what this one just flipped over for the masculine. My beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united, for love transcends space, time, and nothing is missing. I love this. The masculine is telling his feminine this. He loves her. He knows that this is a deep, deep, deep spiritual connection, and that he finally realizes that he's feminine because you've allowed him the time and the space to go through his own processes, however painful it was for you, to let him go, to, just embrace the separation, whatever emotional, mental price you had to pay with your inner conflict with the feminine. The masculine realizes that you are his beloved. He knows that there's a spiritual connection, and he realizes that through all this time that you were apart, that you weren't really apart, that you were always there with him. And the angels are jogging his memory. I said someone's jogging his memory. The angels are calling up the things that he wants to bury, that he doesn't want to have a look at, and that is most probably these memories. Because remember, with these connections, there is a lot of work that you have to do on yourself, self-esteem issues, okay, inner conflict that you need to resolve, self-esteem issues. And I feel like maybe the masculine as well as the feminine, we all have these issues, but mostly with the masculine, the angels are jogging his memory to make him realize what makes him feel good. Okay, what brings back, what is the sweetness in his life? And I feel like even while he's dreaming, the angels are jogging his memory. They're making him remember you. Okay, and making him remember the good times, how good it is between the two of you, and then compare this with when you weren't in his life. And that is what's actually going to push him to make that call, to reconnect with you. Because he says, my beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united. That's what this card is saying, that there's always comes around, comes back around, comes back. There's no getting away from it, because we have this wheel of fortune, that's the wheel turning, coming back around. We have three cards indicating coming back around again. And he realizes that there's no way of getting away from this connection, because it's a spiritual connection. He says, I tried everything to run away from you, but I realize now that no matter what distance I put between the two of you, how long I resist in calling you, connecting with you, how long I enforce the separation, that even though either you might have caused the separation or either him might have caused the separation, but there's this realization that separation is definitely not going to kill it, okay? Because you keep on popping up. No getting away from these connections. I love it. Yeah, that's what happens when you are, divine feminine, divine masculine. It's a contract. You can't. It's a soul contract that was signed. You can do anything you like. You can go to the ends of the earth to get away from it, but at the end of the day, it's a spiritual connection, and there's no getting away from it. You're going to dream of this person. There's going to be messages. There's going to be synchronicities. There's going to be music. There's going to be people talking about your person. There's always something that will remind you of each other. Now, what does the feminine have to say? Huh? Oh, this is beautiful. Soulmates. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this, and they will manifest physically. So that's encouragement. Okay? That is what the feminine is telling the masculine. And look how they complement each other. She's saying your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this, and they will manifest physically. And the masculine is saying, my beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united, for love transcends space, time, and nothing is missing. So there's this beautiful conversation that's happening between the feminine and the masculine on a spiritual level, where they are encouraging each other, and they speak this beautiful language of understanding. So they understand each other spiritually, and we all know whatever happens in the metaphysical does affect us in our physical reality. So time is nigh. Time is nigh. Let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims. It simply allows and gives. And this is the change I feel, that was necessary on the feminine side. So one thing about the divine feminine is that when they become aware of these connections, they are so intense. They are so intense that it, like, you know, it's way, way, way out of whack. Okay, like their whole energy is being just, it's chaotic. But it is through the processes that the feminine knows that she needs to work on her inner processes, on how she processes messages, her self-esteem, her values, her spirituality, her ability to surrender, her ability to allow and be in a feminine energy that is to just allow things to happen and allow the journey to unfold. And it is when she actually gets to that space and stop trying to control the connection between her and a message. Stop trying to force communication or trying to force a closeness that the masculine isn't ready to feel. When she stops doing that, when she starts to surrender, that is when this new energy comes in. That is where the awakening comes in. That's where the penny drops for the feminine, that it is actually okay to be separate in the physical because it is a spiritual connection. Once she realizes that, it opens up the flow, okay, energetically between the masculine and the feminine, because then that hunger that the feminine has for her masculine, I don't have a better way to express it more than a hunger, which is that desperation to be with her masculine, okay? When she gets that under control and she surrenders and she knows that there's no need, that actually there is no separation, that spills over into the masculine's energy, and it harmonizes the energy between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And therefore, that is why we have this beautiful language of love, togetherness, acceptance, and surrendering. And when it's in harmony like this, that is when you get the outcome. A brand new, fresh start with your masculine that is actually called to life by the angels, by God, by destiny. It's destiny to be together because you've done the work. You've earned your stripes, okay? You've seen it all. You've gone through your highest of highs, and you've gone to the darkest depths, the lowest low that you could possibly have in this connection. And when you've done that work, you've done the work. We have pentacles here. It must pay off. It must pay off because destiny is here. Now, this is where I'm going to leave this reading. It's a beautiful reading. Please give me feedback on this. I absolutely adored reading for you. I'm so happy to bring you this positive, uplifting energy, where there's this beautiful spiritual connection between masculine and feminine. And I just want to thank my divine masculine for the part that he plays in our connection, for instigating and being the catalyst to my channel. I share this journey with you as well as my masculine, and I just want to say I love you very much, and I'm grateful for having you in my life. Thank you so much. I wish everyone a beautiful day. Light and love.